What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. What's happening? What's up? What up? Hey! Thank you for clicking on whatever you clicked on, whatever link via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. I am so grateful that you clicked on it and that we get to be connected now. Like, hey, what's happening? If it's your first time coming to my channel, what's up? How you doing? I hope you're doing good because I'm doing good, okay? And yeah, I hope everybody had an amazing Easter. So I hope that either you got some eggs, took a picture with a bunny, went to church, got a word that touched you and that connected with you. Did anybody else see that tweet where they was talking about how is it that Easter, rent, and April Fool's on the same day? So you mean to tell me it's a joke that my rent due, so I ain't gotta pay, right? I ain't gotta pay it, right? Wrong, yeah, whatever. Anyway, yesterday I had like I had a moment of worship by myself while I was cooking. I was cooking some greens, y'all. I was cooking some greens and some chicken. It was scrumptious. I used to be on praise team at my church. Friendship West was happening, was good. Dallas, Texas. And one of the songs that we sung was called On Calvary. And so I'm cooking and I'm just humming and I'm singing because it's, I'm not even, like, I love this worship song. And so I'm not even connecting the fact that, oh, this song is talking about Resurrection Sunday. You're talking about on Calvary because Jesus died. And so I'm singing this song, I'm just singing it because I want to, worship a little bit. And it got me, and I kid you not, for like the next 30 minutes, I have my own little session of worship. So the song goes, it says, on Calvary, Jesus died for you and me. On Calvary, we were set free. They hung him high, stretched him wide. Oh, what pain and suffering on Calvary. On Calvary. Oh, Jesus, you didn't have to do it, but you did. And I want to say thank you, Lord. Ooh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. And then it says, thank you, Lord. You pay my ransom. And then, the song just keeps vamping up. It keeps vamping up. And it's getting good. And it's getting better. And the spirit's moving. And it's like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You pay my ransom. You pay my ransom. Whoo! Y'all, I was literally, oh my gosh, look, and I don't claim to be no Beyonce or whatever, but when it comes to singing for the Lord our God, for Jesus H. Christ, the one who saved me, who gave me grace, shed his blood for me, was sent down here from God to save my life, save a wretch like me, a sinner like me. Y'all don't know. Anyway, so I hope you guys had an amazing Easter. And that you were able to either spend time with your family, get some form of word, and let's dive right on in, y'all, okay? Because I'm ecstatic, okay? What I got on the agenda for this video is gonna be going over number 4, which was actually number 7 on my 10 things I think I know, or 10 things I know list. If you don't know what that is, because you're a first time viewer, please go back to my first video. You know what I'm talking about. Long story short, I'm doing a series of 10 things that I think I know right now to be true based off my experiences, things that have happened to me, and giving a little bit of my wisdom so that y'all can continue to get to know me and where I'm at in life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so we're gonna be going over number 4, which is birds of a feather flock together. The reason why I switched my list around a little bit is because I felt like this one went really great with not everyone can be in your front row, just because the topic deals with the same idea of who you keep around you, who not to keep around you, and all the energies and stuff like that I was talking about in my last video. If you're lost, you can always go back to my other videos and watch, okay? So birds of a feather flock together. So with this statement, I kind of found it interesting that I wrote it down, but I stuck with it because I got some truth that I want to tell with this. Can I tell you some truth? Can I tell you some truth? Okay, cause I'm gonna tell you some truth, and I hope that don't come off the wrong way, but it might, and if it does, it's not my intention. But you know, just gonna rock with it. I'm not throwing shade to nobody, but just hear me out, okay? The reason why I'm kind of like iffy, you know, kind of like iffy about this statement is because like of my own personal life, because I believe that I'm definitely an example of that not necessarily being completely true. I'm gonna tell you why. So my ex
was not important at all. But oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do.
So I don't remember the conversation. I don't remember the conversation that we were having, whatever. And I'm about to paraphrase a lot. But one day we was talking or texting, FaceTiming, whatever. And you know, we were talking about like, oh, like how, you know, how we met, and you know, he saw me, da 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 da. He was like, yeah, like I was surprised that, you know, you acted the way that you acted. And I was like, what do you mean? Like what do you mean you're surprised? And it was just like I was surprised because of the people who you surround yourself around. And I was like, oh, what you mean the people I surround myself around? You know, my friends are beautiful. My friends is this. My friends is that. Do, right? And so I thought about that. And I was like, really? And I was like, well, you know, whenever I'm around them, you know, we're having great conversation. They're beautiful people. We're having fun times. We're doing this. We're doing that. But in certain aspects of our lives, you know, we don't move the same. Until I got to college, a lot of my friends were able to do a lot of things that I couldn't do. It's not that I couldn't do it, it's that I chose not to do it, you know. One, because, you know, they was having some wonderful adventures. And Yvette Harris and Heath Harris was not going to allow Heather Harris to be out at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning while she was sophomore in high school. It wasn't happening. Okay, no. I was barely allowed to go to parties, okay? So that's part of the reason why I had to move differently, you know what I'm saying? But I said all that to say that I feel like this statement, birds of a feather flock together, have two different sides to it. On the one side, it's like yes, you know, the people who you surround yourself around will eventually, you know, impact you and influence you. It's gonna happen. But then on the other side of that, the only reason that it happens is if you are not grounded in who you are, who you want to be, what you don't want to do, what you will not do. You know what I mean? If you're not grounded in your beliefs, in your stances, in your stance, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like for me, that's just how I've always moved. Now, can I be real? I don't judge nobody for doing what they do or doing it with whomever they do it with, or going here or going there and da-da-da-da. You know, just because, oh, I don't do it. Just because somebody doesn't move the same way that you move does not give you the right to judge them or criticize them or anything like that. Like, no. Now, does that mean if you see said friend or said person moving down a dangerous path or whatever, that you know, you don't say nothing, you don't speak up? You can have an opinion. You know, but that doesn't mean that that person has to take your opinion and run with it. You know, you got to let people live their own lives and do whatever they want to do. And, you know, pray for them. Pray for them, Jesus. If you do not ground yourself in who you are or who you want to be, the things that you want to achieve, the places that you want to go, the goals, you know, the goals that you want to achieve for yourself in life, that is the only way that people who are around you can affect you. Birds of a feather flock together is not necessarily, you know, always negative, and it's not necessarily always positive, you know, because some friend groups, you know, you can have a bunch of engineers or a bunch of entrepreneurs who, you know, birds of a feather flock together. But then you can also have some people who aren't necessarily, you know, doing good things, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's bad things, but you know, they're just, you know, doing some other things and they flock together too. The reason why I wrote this one down is because I feel like I have defied this statement. Like, who I keep around me, like, we don't move the same in all the aspects of our life. Do I keep positive people around me? Yes. Do I keep wonderful, beautiful people who are beautiful on the inside and outside? Yes. Do I keep people around me who are pushing for a goal, trying to achieve a goal, you know, trying to do something with their lives and be great? Yes. Yes, I do. You know, I keep all that energy around me. I keep people around me who challenge me, But, just because we got these same characteristics and same qualities does not mean that we exactly move the same. I could go down into a rabbit hole about this, but listen. Okay, the things I want you to take away from this statement are: you have to be mindful of the people that you keep around you. You have to be mindful. And I said this in my last video, which is why I'm saying it now again. Because you have to. It is so important. Like, you don't want to be an eagle hanging out with pigeons. You don't want to be a hawk hanging out with crows. You don't want to be an ant hanging out with a tarantula. I ain't never seen no ant hanging with a tarantula, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. Whether you know it or not, the people who are around you are influencing you subconsciously and consciously. And you ain't gonna realize that they have influenced you until it's too late. Now listen, not all influence is bad influence, which is why I'm saying you have to be mindful of who you are flocking to, who you are keeping in your circle. If you're keeping the right people around you, they can motivate you, inspire you, they can, encourage you to keep going and to keep pushing for yourself. But if you keep the wrong people around you, they're going to encourage you to be lazy. They're going to encourage you to give up on stuff, to not go to class, or to not do this and to not do that, which will eventually result into you giving up on yourself. Not necessarily as in, oh, I'm giving up on life, but like as in, oh, I'm giving up on this goal that I really wanted to get. But it's not obtainable, so I'm not going to get it, You also want to keep people around you who have the same, goals, the same mindsets. Because if y'all are reaching, not necessarily for the same thing, but reaching in the same, direction in life as far as, career goes, or as far as like, wanting to grow, you're going to be good. But if you're surrounding yourself and flocking to people who just want to be stagnant, then you will be stagnant. Or are you going to be the one person out the group who trying to soar, and everybody else looking at you like, girl, you crazy? Why are you doing that? That is why I said with some friend groups, they get smaller and smaller, because as we grow up, we realize where we want to go, what we want to do, the goals that we want to get, the goals that we want to achieve, right? And they're not all the same goals, so then we all go in a different direction. You transition out of friendships and out of, associates, because they're not going to benefit your journey. They're not going to motivate you. They're not going to encourage you to keep going in that direction, because they're going in a completely different direction and they ain't getting that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful of that. And the other reason why is because the people around you can change other people's perception of who you are. Other people's perceptions of you and perspectives of you are not everything, but it can keep you from getting certain opportunities, getting certain jobs, meeting certain people, because they are already assuming who you are before you meet them. Before you open your mouth, they're already assuming. Because of the people whom you hang around. I'm not down to people because Jesus hung out with some sinners too. Jesus got to know sinners too, you know what I mean? But he always stayed grounded in who he was, and in his journey and his faith, and in whose he was. Which is why he was never swayed. Even though he was helping the sick and feeding the poor. I kid you not. If people are seeing you move with people who ain't doing stuff with their life, they're going to assume that you're not doing stuff with your life. You may be pretty and you may look like this and you may have this on, but they're still going to assume that because of whom you hang with. You can't get away from people making assumptions about you before they meet you. There are a bunch of people who before they met me, they was like, oh my God, Heather, I thought you was a B. I'm not cussing on here, but I thought you were a B, and I thought that you were stuck up, and I thought this, and I thought that, and I was just like, really? You did? Why? Because when I was walking around, my face was like this, or because of who I hung around? And when you see certain clicks, you like, oh my God, like, oh, 4 out of the 5, are thoughts, and doing this, and they smoking that, and moving like this, and moving like that. So that means all of them got to do it. You know what I mean? Or 5 out of the 6 don't go to class. 5 out of the 6 don't go to class and don't turn in their assignments and are lazy and don't finish stuff and aren't people of their word. So you must be like that too. People are going to make assumptions about you. And one of the keys to success is, people always saying it's not about you know, who you are or whatever. It's about who you know. And not even who you know, but who knows you. And if who knows you knows that you hang around this person, they will assume that because you hang out with them that you are like them. That could either work for you or work against you, depending on who that person is. If that person is not about their business, that person is lazy, they're not a person of their word, you know, they ain't on their stuff, then people are going to assume that you're not on your stuff and that you're not about your word. But if that person is, you know, on their stuff and doing this and doing that, they'll be like, oh yeah, she hang around. That's a so. I want her. My last thing of what I want you to take away is people who you flock to can either get you in good situations or get you in bad situations. We hear so many stories about young people. I'm not even gonna say not even young men, young women, black kids, people who were in the wrong place at the wrong time because of who they hung around. Oh, Lil Johnny was here because he hung out with Craig and Kevin and all of them. You know, Craig and Kevin was moving like this in the hood and, you know, dibbling and dabbling this and dabbling that. Johnny, you know, was always in his books. Johnny always doing good. Johnny not like them, but Johnny hangs around them, right? And then Lil Johnny gets shot for going to a party, you know, or for being at somebody's house, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong people. It may not always happen like that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it can be a build up to that, because sometimes you can be in the right place at the wrong time or the wrong place at the right time, you know, like depending on how you interpret that. But for real, really be mindful of who you are keeping around you. Even this week, y'all, I was on Instagram and I was, you know, just scrolling and stuff, and there are so many people that, you know, that I followed, you know, back when I was like in high school or whatever. I used to look up to these people, or, you know, used to admire these people, and to see, you know, the direction that you know, that their lives took, wouldn't have never guessed it. Now granted, you never know what someone is going through, the circumstances of someone's lives, and, you know, what event happened to where oh, now this has to change and that has to change. And I don't judge anybody for anything that they do, any choices that they make. I don't judge you. Live your best life. And I'm going to pray that God continues to cover you in whatever direction that you go. But it just baffled me. Like, I would have never guessed it in a million years that this person would be doing that now. Never guessed it. And granted, it was all off of perception, but I would have never guessed it. You know what? Part of the reason why that happened, why I feel like that happened, is because, like, if you're growing and you're trying to get in a completely different direction, you can't keep the same people. You can't keep everybody with you, because not everybody is going to support that change. Not everybody's going to support that growth, because they're not growing, or they don't know how to support that growth because they've never been that far, because people can pull you back to where you come from. I was just watching this interview with TD Jakes and what's his name? Steven. Don't judge me. He a white preacher, but he really black. Like, I really feel like he like the Channing Tatum of preachers. I'm gonna figure out his name. TD Jakes gave an analogy of ride to the airport with your loved ones, but because they don't have a ticket, they can't get to where you're going. And even though you love them, you gotta leave them. And that's how I feel about, one, not everyone can be in your circle, and two, birds of a feather flock together. So I'm gonna close this one out, all right? But just remember, regardless of who you keep around you and who you keep in your circle, stay grounded in who you are. Stay grounded in the direction that you want to go in life. Stay grounded in your purpose and your goals. Figure out who you are, what you want in life. Don't let people persuade you to do otherwise. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope that something that I said resonated with you. And I pray that the Lord bless you and keep you and cover you going into this next week. Stay blessed, stay peaceful, stay joyful. Thank you for watching again. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you come back. Bye.